And welcome back to Mind Your Business. We just heard from Mike Mammo of Verizon Wireless Zone of Conroe. And next we have a local nonprofit, Stage Right of Texas. We have Carolyn, Wong, Katt, Gilcrease, and Brenda Storseth with us to talk about the history of Stage Right and then also about an upcoming show that we have, and actually I am a part of. It is Arsenic and Old Lace, and we'll get more details on that later. But first I want to talk to Carolyn about some history of Stage Right. So Carolyn, tell us, what is Stage Right?
What is Stage Right? I guess it's who is Stage Right, and we are the resident community theater company at the historic Crichton Theater in downtown Conroe. And we're one of 3 resident groups at the Crichton. We have the Montgomery County Performing Arts Society, also a resident group there. They put on concerts, a season of concerts. They have John Conley coming up next, I believe, and Mark Chestnut later. And then the Sounds of Texas Music Series are also a resident group there, and they bring in big country name artists to the Crichton. So we're one of 3 resident groups at the Crichton Theater.
Right, so there's always something going on in that.
There is always something cooking at the Crichton Theater, yes.
Right, and it's a beautiful theater.
It is. It is.
I was just amazed when I went in there. You can just feel the history as soon as you walk in.
Yes, yes.
Well, great. And so you said that there's a lot of other, there's several different theater groups at the Crichton, but then also in the area. So what makes you different than other theater groups and organizations?
Well, I guess, Cassandra, our focus is outward. We're interested in being a good corporate citizen. We want to be able to enrich the community. That's part of our mission. I guess we take the cue from the man who built the theater those many years ago. Harry Crichton built the theater in 1934 with the great amount of money that he got from the oil fields of Conroe. Mm-hmm. He was a mayor of Conroe, and he built the theater to give back something to the community that had given him so much. So we take our cue from Harry Crichton, and we try to give back to the community with every show that we do at the Crichton. And that's rather unique thing for a theater company to do. It's not all about the show with us.
Most definitely. And something that I thought was interesting, the right stands for something, and it kind of lends itself to what you just said.
Yes.
What does the right stand for?
Yes, the right, well, in addition to being stage right, which you know
right.
as an actress, a stage term, but the right, each letter stands for something. R stands for respect. We try to treat everyone that comes into our family as actors and production people with respect. We also treat our audience with respect as well. We don't want to offend anyone, so we don't put anything distasteful or in bad taste on the Crichton stage. Our I is for inspire. We hope to inspire the community, and that, again, it's the giving back part, the bringing awareness to different organizations, nonprofit organizations in the community. And we do that, as I said, with every show. The current show, our upcoming show, we're going to have the Assistance League of Montgomery County come and set up a table in the lobby and give out information on the fine work that they do. In the past, we've had the Montgomery County Animal Shelter. We've collected food for the Montgomery County Food Bank. So we hope through our works with every group that we bring in that gives back to the community, it inspires the community to get involved as a volunteer with those organizations or our organizations. The G is grow, growth. We hope to grow as actors, and that's to help foster people that are interested in theater to give it a try. Also grow as individuals, and helping others helps us all grow. The H is healing through laughter and tears. Our main focus is through comedy. We provide uplifting, clean, family-friendly entertainment. We feel the world is a pretty darn serious place these days, so we hope to heal through the performances that we put on. And T is treasure our history. And supporting the Crichton Theater is what we're all about. It's why we're there, why we formed. We're all about supporting the Crichton Theater. And as such, we we put out a newsletter, an e-newsletter bi-monthly that has not just stage right shows listed, but also everything that's coming to the Crichton, whether it's the Performing Arts Society or Charity Productions brings a number of fine performing artists into the Crichton. Whatever group uses it, we will use our time to advertise, and that's solely to support the Crichton Theater.
Yeah, strength in numbers. So
Yep.
working together and
Yeah.
supporting each other is really important.
Right.
And I know that Stage Right, there's other aspects of the organization that you have. I know, can you talk about some of the other areas besides just putting on shows or things that Stage Right does?
Sure. Well, we have a whole educational wing. We have children's theater school called Bravo Company, and we teach kids from age 5 all the way to 18 all aspects of theater. They put on a fall showcase. Last year we had them put on their showcase of monologues and different scenes and acting exercises at a holiday open house that we had. And then in the spring, they put on a full production. So throughout the school year, they'll learn all about how to prepare a monologue, how to pick a monologue, how to stand on a stage and be heard at the back of the Crichton Theater, developing character, and teaching kids theater, no matter what they decide to go into, is so beneficial because it tends to bring a very shy child, as I was, out of their shell.
You were shy.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
You never would know now.
You wouldn't know, but learning to be part of a team that's also involved in theater, and that's very important for kids to learn how to be a part of a team to put on a show. It takes more than one person just to put on a show. So they learn that. They learn responsibility. They have to be in a certain place at a certain time, doing a certain thing. It teaches them focus, how to focus, and in the age of all this electronic gizmos that kids have to use to occupy their time, it's of great importance that they learn to drop all the electronic stuff and relate to people. Because no matter, as I said, no matter what field they go into, they have to be able to stand on their 2 feet, speak clearly, so people can find out who they are.
Right, most definitely. Those skills are so transferable to anything that you do in life. So that's great that you teach them and give them that.
Yes.
And as far as the shows go, I mean, what are the primary areas that people come from to see the shows that are at the Crichton?
Oh, we have people coming from all over. We even have groups that come all the way regularly from Baytown and Katy and as far away as that. But mainly, I guess the bulk of our audience comes from the Spring area, Spring and Conroe. That's the bulk of our audience members that come. But we have people from all over that come.
So that must mean the shows are pretty good then, huh?
Well, we like to think so.
I know so, because I'm a part of it now.
That's right.
Great. And how many theater goers do you generally see in a season, would you say?
In a season, last season we saw 12,000 people come through the doors to our production. So it's a lot of feet going through the Crichton Theater. So,
that's great.
Great.
Again, because the shows are so awesome.
Well, that's why, of course. In your humble opinion. Yes.
Exactly. Yes, very humble opinion. And give us some background on the beginnings of the organization.
Well, we formed as a theater company in 2008 when the former resident group at the Crichton left. And when they left, it left the theater with no viable means of support. Any theater needs the steady, dependable income of a resident company. We provide the bulk of the rent that is paid to the Crichton. Of the 3 groups, we're the number one moneymaker for them. So without us, it would be likely the theater would have to close its doors. To maintain a theater like that takes a great deal of money. So there were a group of us that did not want to see, particularly the Crichton stand dark at Christmas time, 2008. That's when the group had left. And so in true Mickey Rooney fashion, we were sitting around our dining room table, and over a loaf of homemade bread, we all said, well, let's put on a show. So we did, and we formed as a company, and we've been going ever since.
The rest is history.
Yeah, the rest is history. Yes.
Great. And you talked a little bit about, it is rather expensive to keep a theater going.
Yes.
So how is Stage Right funded?
Well, surprisingly, and this is rare for many nonprofits, and particularly nonprofit theaters, 90% of our income is through ticket sales.
Wow.
10% is through grants and donations. We get grants from the Conroe Commission on Arts and Culture. We get grants, sponsor money from various corporations. ExxonMobil has donated, and individuals. But the bulk of it is through ticket sales.
Because the shows are safe.
There you are.
And so, how for each season, how do you decide what shows you will do?
Well, as I said, our focus is to provide clean, uplifting entertainment. And nowadays, finding clean, uplifting plays to present, it's a challenge. So generally, as an artistic director, I ask directors that have worked with us before, what shows would you be interested in doing? And if they fit with our mission to provide something clean and uplifting. And I think that also is why we get 12,000 people to come. It shows that people want to see. We feel that people are hungry for uplifting entertainment. So if that fills the bill, I would come up with a season of shows and I present it to our board of directors. Usually I have an alternate season. We vote it up or down. There could be a show or two that they're not crazy about. I'll go back and rehash things. But generally that's how it's done. So kind of gathering input for what our audiences want to see. We had a number of people tell us, oh, please give us A Christmas Story again. And so sure enough, we're doing that this year. That's on our season this year.
Well, because you want to do a show doesn't mean the community wants to see it.
That's a very important point, and many a theater company forgets that. I mean, there's many shows I would love to do as an actress, just to have the challenge of doing them, but nobody may want to see it.
Right.
It may be a real downer, or it may have lots of language in it or the subject matter may be something that doesn't fit with our mission.
Right.
So, we don't do those kinds of shows. Right. And I think that our mode of operating, trying to put on shows that people are hungry for, I think that's served us well. We wouldn't be here, 5 years or plus after forming, if we weren't doing what people wanted to see.
Right. So you choose the shows that you want to do, and then you have to have auditions because you need actors to do the shows. Right. So how do you find people to
under every rock and corner we find actors, but we put out audition notices. We always have audition notices on our website and the local papers, theaterport.com. We post our audition notices, and it just astounds me how many people from far away. The last show we did, we had someone from College Station come and was in our show. It was just a show they wanted to do, and they came, got the part. And so anyone that's interested in auditioning, they're all open auditions, meaning you don't have to make an appointment. Generally, you don't have to prepare a monologue, which is always such an intimidating thing for an actor to do. It's cold readings for plays. For musicals, we do ask most times that people prepare a song. And sometimes it's as easy as with the kids with Wizard of Oz, they sang Happy Birthday. Yeah. And, if they could stay on tune, okay, that was great. If they could remember the words, that's a good sign. So we'll work with them. Yeah. If they just have to have a willingness to give it a try.
Yeah. Well, I know when I came to audition, I didn't even know I was auditioning. Brenda, our fabulous director, her daughter just kind of
roped you in.
Yeah. And little did I know, there I was auditioning for a play. And I love it. It's been so much fun. So, what are the primary focus areas for the organization currently and for the future, would you say? Because you talked a lot about the mission and what the work that that you guys are doing now, but what are you kind of looking towards and working for?
Oh, well, as I said, our main focus is providing clean and family-friendly, uplifting entertainment. That's always our main focus. We'd like to perhaps expand our educational opportunities to adults. So we did start out with some adult classes in acting. It's so hard with working people, to get them to commit to a class to attend. So that's something that we'd like to delve into a little bit more, is adult acting classes, or just teaching people more the technical aspects of theater. We're very excited because this year we're partnering with Conroe ISD, and we're going to have an intern work with us this entire season. A young lady, she's a senior in high school, and it's a business course that she's enrolled in, and she's going to be doing an internship with Stage Right. So she's going to be learning all about the business of theater. There's a lot of business to it, and many an actor has clueless to what it takes to put on a show. How do you you have to pay to get the rights to a show? How is that all done? I mean, the advertising, marketing, all of those business aspects. We'll be working with this young lady and teaching her. So we're excited with that partnership. So hopefully we can expand that as well in the future and get more kids that are maybe have stars in their eyes about, acting or opening a theater company. Well, what exactly does that take,
right.
Business-wise?
There's a lot that goes into that.
There is. Developing your audience, developing, fundraising, all of that. It has to be taken into consideration. So
most definitely. Great.
We're excited about that.
Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we are going to hear about the upcoming season for Stage Right, and we have the director for Arsenic and Old Lace, Brenda Storseth, and one of the actors of the show, Katt Gilcrease, is with us as well, so stay tuned. And welcome back to Mind Your Business. We just got a whole boatload of information about Stage Right of Texas and who they are and what they do. And so now we're going to talk about the upcoming season, because there's a lot of awesome shows that are coming to the Crichton. And so, Carolyn, what are all of these shows that we're in store for?
Okay, well, we have our Season of Nostalgia beginning September 6th through the 22nd with Arsenic and Old Lace, which we'll hear more about shortly. It's a very funny comedy. It's been done and done and done, and it's been done and done, and because it is such a good play. It is so funny. After that, our Christmas show is, as I said earlier, A Christmas Story, and that runs December 6th through the 22nd. We're going to add a matinee performance on that. Normally we do 8 shows for each production. This one we're going to do 9, so we're going to have a matinee the first Sunday as well. And that's the story, you'll shoot your eye out, kids.
Yes.
Little Ralphie, who wants the BB gun for Christmas. In February, we have Anything Goes, which is a Cole Porter musical. We've been trying to bring Cole Porter to the Crichton stage for a number of years. And so finally we get to bring him. The Broadway show just closed, so we were able to get the rights to Anything Goes. And it is, again, it's been done, not as much as it should be, but yeah, it was originally starring Ethel Merman on Broadway, and it has, all of Cole Porter's It's the Lovely, I Get a Kick Out of You, Anything Goes, all of those wonderful Cole Porter songs, tap dancing, again, just uplifting, fun show. Then in the spring, April 18th through May 4th, we have Driving Miss Daisy, which people are familiar with from the movie. The stage play is a little bit different. It's just 3 characters that are in the play, and so it's a real acting tour de force. So I hope people that are interested in auditioning will come out for that one, because that would really be one for actors to actress to really sink their teeth into those roles. It's a wonderful story of a relationship between an elderly Jewish white woman and her black chauffeur, and it's a beautiful play. So I think people will love it. And we close our season with Hairspray, which is, again, people are familiar with from the movie. And it is one of the most uplifting shows that people will see. It has a wonderful message, too, of acceptance, size acceptance, color acceptance, and so on. So it's a terrific, fun 60s themed musical. So that runs in July from the 11th to the 27th in 2014. And then we'll start it all over again in the fall of 2014.
Just keeps going and going.
Yes.
Well, that's an awesome lineup for your season.
Yes, and we still have season tickets on sale. They're only $80 for all those shows. Right. And they can call the Crichton box office and still buy season tickets. With all of our season tickets, you get a free ticket to a show. So you can bring someone with you. It's called a friend's ticket. So if a couple buys season tickets, they get 2 tickets to bring 2 friends with them to a show. And it's kind of nice to be able to invite your friends out for a night of theater. And it'll be your treat.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Very cool. I did not know that either. That's awesome. Well, you said that the opener for the season is Arsenic and Old Lace, and we are in rehearsals for that.
We
right
sure
now.
are.
And it's coming up real quick.
It is. Just a few weeks.
So I can't believe that. That's why we're having late night rehearsals.
Yes.
And we have Brenda Storseth, who not only is the mother of one of our chamber staff, Angela Storseth, but she is the fabulous director for Arsenic and Old Lace. And Brenda, you're going to give us some background about you and a little bit about directing the show. So Brenda, what's your background with theater?
Well, I directed my very first show 30 years ago, so I've been directing on and off for the past 30 years. This last run was 13 years at Montgomery Junior High. I've been a director of young adults, teenagers.
Who, they act like adults, so it's basically the same, right? So you know a thing or two when it comes to directing then.
I hope so.
I think you do. And so you're directing Arsenic and Old Lace, which opens on September 6th. Why did you become involved with Stage Right and with this show?
Well, I made a decision this last spring to take a break from education. A lot of people think I've retired, but I have not. I've just taken a break from it because I wanted to pursue some other avenues with writing some plays, getting some plays published, things like that. And my friend Susan, which is also Katt's wife, she is also a colleague of mine, and she teaches at Lynn Lucas Middle School, and we're also competitors. And she mentioned to me that the Stage Right is always looking for directors, and she was actually the director of this show originally. And knowing how busy she is, because I was at my school 12 hours a day, she asked if I would be interested in doing it, and I jumped on it because I love directing, and just because I'm not directing at school, I wanted to to keep up my skills and to stay involved in theater.
Right. Yeah. Well, you're doing an excellent job so far. So, and you get to work with real grown-ups now, so it's
which at first was intimidating because this cast of characters is extremely experienced. And a lot of them are veteran actors. And I usually deal with, children who love theater or want to be in theater but haven't had a lot of experience. So I was very afraid of talking down to them. So I didn't want to do that. And so, but they've been wonderful to work with. And I'm in awe of their experience and how well it's going.
Yeah, I know. Well, on the note of experience, I remember the first night when we got together for our read-through, and everyone's going around introducing themselves and who they are and other shows that they've been in. And I mean, everyone had this huge list of all these shows they've been in. And I was like, oh, I haven't been in any shows, so this is fun. So I just feel so honored and privileged to be part of a cast that has so much experience behind them. So yeah, it's just been a great experience. And when it comes to directing and specifically with this show, what's been the highlight so far with directing Arsenic?
Well, so far it has been when I drew out my vision for this exotic stage, the scene, I was afraid that I would be shot down immediately, and I wasn't. Dennis and Katt both looked at it and said, "Oh, okay, we can do that." So I'm very excited about the actual the set.
Oh yeah, it's coming together.
But the other highlight has been just the cast of characters is amazing, and they're all so talented, and they all are cast perfectly, and it's just a very, very funny show. And I sometimes just sit back, and on Sunday night I think we had a magical moment where everything was just coming together, and it was so beautiful.
Yeah.
So
it's getting there. And it will be all the way there come September 6th. And so, in your opinion, Brenda, why should why should the public come see this show?
Well, besides the fact that it's a very inexpensive, high-class form of entertainment, I think that this show it's quick, it's funny, it's lighthearted, it's family-friendly. I think that if you've seen it before, you're going to love it just as much as you always have. And if you've never seen it, you should come see it because it's just very, very humorous.
Yeah, I still laugh and I've heard the same lines over and over and over again. But wonderful. Well, thank you very much, Brenda, for your insight and your background. And you're doing an excellent job. So we appreciate your work. And now we have Katt, who is a cast member in the show as well. And I know we were talking about all the experience that everyone has, and you have a lot of experience when it comes to theater. So what's your background?
Well, in 1979, I took my first theater class, and because I liked the band Kiss, and I wanted
Oh, that makes sense.
I wanted to learn more about makeup and pyrotechnics, and I thought theater was the place to find that. And then once I got in, I realized that I wanted to act a little bit, and the director put me up on the stage, and I've been doing it almost ever since. I took a little break there for work, but I don't know how many plays I've done. Well over 100 I've been a part of, and
oh yeah, I know it's a lot. I saw your list. You've been in a lot.
A lot. Sometimes it's tech director, and sometimes as a carpenter or whatever, set mover, builder, whatever. But most of them are some small role or even a larger role a lot of times, So, but yeah, a lot of background there, and I took a 17-year break for work because I worked for the Department of Corrections for 21 years and was raising a kid, and so I got back into it about 16 years ago. And I've been rolling ever since.
Yeah. Great. And how did you become involved with Stage Right?
Well, I got a call one day from a lady named Carolyn Wong, and she asked if I'd take a part in a show called Christmas Bells, and that was 2008. Yes. And so I said, heck yeah, and that's where it started. And I've been with Stage Right since. About a year later or so, we had an unfortunate event happen, and I took his place. About a year later or so, and I've been with Stage Right, a board member ever since, and I plan to stay.
Yeah, great. Well, they're lucky to have you.
I hope so. They feel that way.
And so with this show, what has your experience been so far with the show and with Stage Right?
Oh, well, Stage Right, it's always the same experience because everybody's focused on getting the show out as good as it can be, and so that's never changes. Sometimes, getting there, we bump heads and bang around, and, that's what families do. But at the same time, it's always for the better. And that, for me, never changes. It's always to put on the best production that we can. Because what Carolyn said earlier about the family and bringing in family-oriented type shows and the community likes it, they are hungry for that. And, sometimes there are times we want to do something more, but Stage Right's always focused on doing that and pleasing the community and bringing in other groups that, like the Assistance League this time for Arsenic. And, when we do shows with pets in it, it's something to do with the rescue of the pet.
Right.
And things of that nature. So, and even Carolyn, she's had a dog they rescued years ago, and they still have Harley.
He's been in all of our shows.
Yeah.
He's a star.
And so he was a rescue. Yeah.
He was.
And so those type of things, there's always something on the side going on. That's what, we're still focused on that.
Yeah, making those connections in the community.
Sure, yeah.
And I think that's really what sets Stage Right apart and makes it so successful. And so, again, you're in the show Arsenic and Old Lace. What is your role in the show?
I'm playing Jonathan Brewster.
And tell us about Jonathan.
Oh, well, Jonathan doesn't really talk about himself too much. So, he's a psycho killer.
But it's a family-friendly show.
Yeah, family friendly. We had 12 bodies in the
Yes.
cellar, yeah, but that's family friendly. You know, every woman in Conroe area. You know,
What family doesn't have that?
yeah, I know. Everyone has closets, right, full of
Mhm.
skeletons. Well, we have the basement full. But Jonathan is he's just that. He's a killer that has escaped from an insane asylum, and he comes into the old ladies' lives. You know, at this point in the story, and he's very competitive with them, if you will, because he finds out they have the exact same amount of murders that he has, and he wants to break the tie.
Unacceptable.
Yeah, just unacceptable. That's right.
Awesome. Well, you're doing an excellent job so far. I know you
Thank
scare me, but you're supposed to. So
Is that as Jonathan or Katt?
maybe both. Well, and finally, in your opinion, why should we come see this show?
Because it's zany horror. You know, it really is. It's comedy. You have a comedy of eras. Well, we have a comedy of horrors. You know, and they're funny. It's you wouldn't think this was a family-friendly show, but because the comedy that's wrapped around this darkness that surrounds this entire family, I think that in itself is an element you would want to see. And why is that? You know, how does that work? You know, that dynamic of dark in comedy. You know, and it is built as a dark comedy. And so people, what do you mean by that? And how is it family-friendly? You know, you all those elements in there, but it is. And so I think people should come see it for that. And then, you know, Arsenic is well known. There's kind of a group that likes to go around and follow this show.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, each time it's different. Come see it because of the differences. Come see what we do, you know. And, you know, so it's one of those type of shows that never grows old and can be done in so many different ways, you know. And we're doing it this way.
Yeah, again, like you said, family-friendly show. It's so funny, and I think that's interesting. You said that there's a following in that. Something that I didn't know about my family until I got involved in the show is that my grandparents actually came together because of Arsenic and Old Lace. My grandfather, because they kind of got together with this show, his nickname was Arsenic, and my grandma's name is Lace. I had no idea until I told them that I was in the show. So there definitely is a following. It's very well known, and everyone just needs to come and see it because you won't want to miss it. So if someone does want to come see the show, Carolyn, how do people get their tickets?
They can go online to www.stage-right.org. Buy tickets online. Tickets are $20 for adults, $18 for seniors, and $15 for students and senior groups of 15 people or more. Or they can call the box office at the Crichton, 936-441-7469. And we do give discounts for groups of 15 or more. So anyone that has a group that would like to come, they can just call the box office.
Great. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Well, again, thank you guys so much for coming on the show and spending your time with me. That is it for Mind Your Business, and I want to thank Mike with Verizon Wireless Zone and Carolyn, Brenda, and Katt for spending the hour with me. Until next time, this is Cassandra Roschen with the Greater Conroe Lake Conroe Area Chamber of Commerce saying so long for now and mind your business.